think the second thing that my mom's life has shared with me and has told me is, don't let what damaged you in one season define you in every season. So important, like my mom, and camera team, can I preach down here? Give me a thumbs up if I can, Amanda. Huh? It won't look good? Do you see this face? No, I'm just, it will not look good. I just want to share with you the story of my mom. Like, my mom was like, as I said, she now gets uprooted from this familiar place. She's brought into this new place now, not only a new location, but a new family, a new mother, a new father. And here's the thing, like, the father that, what you would know about my mom's story as she has shared it with me, is that the man that was there to protect her and provide for her became the person that would assault her, would sexually assault her. And so at the age of 12 years old, my mom is now living with a man that sexually molested her over and over and over again. And she would tell me stories like, man, Rolando, I would hide in this like dollhouse that we had that was built, and I would try to hide there when he would, as soon as I came home from school, because I knew that if he couldn't find me, he wouldn't be able to touch me. You know, and I've never experienced sexual abuse, and I can't even imagine the pain that can cause a 12-year-old girl. You know, my daughter's 16 years old. I can't even imagine what that is. And so just to hear my mom, to know that her brother's father, who her siblings were much younger than her, so she ended up having, in those conditions, raised siblings that she was 12 years older than. And so she would get repeatedly molested by her stepfather. It could kind of make matters worse. It wasn't just that. Like, she grew up and she ended up marrying a man that would physically abuse her, John, for 15 years. 15 years, my mom was physically abused by my father. And so, like, I can't tell you what it was like growing up, just seeing my father. Like, you know, sometimes we think it's just like, oh yeah, he hit her. Can I tell you, like, my dad did not hit my mom. My dad beat my mom. Like, he would beat my mom. Like, as a matter of fact, the earliest memories that I have of my father, and I have as a child, the earliest memories, like, you know, when you think about, like, hey, what's the youngest I could remember? For whatever reason, what's been programmed in me, what's been ingrained in me, my earliest memory is visualizing and seeing my dad with a sharp object slice my mom open from here to here. Stitches, cops, an ambulance. I can't tell you, like, we would move from house to house because the neighbors would call the cops, and then now it's like, oh, you ruined my reputation because, well, you called the cops, so he was killing me. So this is kind of like what my mom experienced after being sexually abused, her childhood, and then now she steps into, like, adulthood, and at a very young age, she met my father. And now she's physically abused. And let me tell you, like, you look at my mom now, you would never think that she's that woman. But she was physically abused for 15 years. And I remember going, like, from house to house. And I have, like, images, like, there's images that I would see on occasions that my mom was a school teacher. She couldn't go to school because, like, my father would punch her in the face until her lips were out to here, split open, eyes black and blue. Like, this is the kind of, and I don't say this to be gross or to be, grotesque in any way, but it's like, this is the reality of what my mom experienced. And remember, I'm sharing this in the context of a testimony, so that means that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Come on, somebody. And so when I look at her life, I can't help but to think of, like, I look at who she is today, and I can't imagine that's what she went through yesterday. Because she's like the 4 Hebrew boys. 3 Hebrew boys that went into the fire, and the Bible says they came out not even smelling like smoke. In other words, they didn't smell like what they went through. And when I look at my mom, I'm like, how is it that you didn't allow the damage to define you? And her life story became this. I'm not going to allow the damage in one season be what defines me in every season.